Wow, it's that time of year again where people start thinking about holidays and Christmas and all that fun stuff. Thanksgiving turkeys, thinking about Black Friday, and that's what this video is going to be about very quickly here. Hopefully it won't take too long here. But essentially last night I woke up in the middle of the night. I just had fallen asleep from all the football games and the dinner that I had, the chicken dinner or whatever it was. I don't remember exactly what all I had. Maybe it was the cherry pie slice that I had, but I fell asleep and my sleep pattern got screwed up. And then sometime in the morning I was sitting at the computer and realized Black Friday was all set for COMC. And essentially what it is that I believe this year they were doing a week of Black Friday and then till Black Friday. I think that's what that was. And there was no sense to wait for Black Friday because several things here. I noticed that there were some cards on COMC that were not on sale. But almost everything on the site-wide had some sort of discount on it, whether it was 5 cents or $50. There was a lot of stuff on sale. Then there was a lot of cards that were on sale before Black Friday, which I had already previously looked at and selected, and then put in my cart and bought before Black Friday. And then there were some that were, additional percentage off, and so sometimes it was only 5 or 10 cents off from the previous price. And then some of them were like a good $1 off. And when you're buying low-grade cards and vintage stuff, in the lower tiers, sometimes $1 off it's amazing, because if you save between 25 cents and $1 for every single card, that affords you another 10, 15, 20, or even 30 more cards, and it's absolutely a massive amount of stuff. So what I did was I previously thrown in $20, and I was going to put in $20 this time, but you know what, I'm going to throw in $40 because 35 is kind of difficult to stick in the thing there. But anyway, I put in $40, so that's a total of $60. Normally I put in 100 or more, but I just said, I cannot handle all that because it's just the mathematicals are just all screwed up. These are the most sane checklists I've ever had for COMC. Just absolutely the most sane ones there. This one, and then this one has a much tidier version on there. The check marks are basically saying that I've gone through that category and I'm pretty much satisfied of what I wanted for that. And so if you can read those there, that will maybe help you with your COMC purchasing if you so choose to do a Black Friday there. And then some of those cards in there will be gone, vanished. But I mean, essentially, you hit some of these categories and the prices are so insane, insanely low. You hit all these cartoon noises like, that sort of thing, and that's just absolutely insane. You see cards for $2.25 that shouldn't be $2.25. Normally you see them $6, $7, $8, $9 or whatever. It's like, wow, this is crazy. Then there were cards that were just massively roached. I mean, roached beyond belief. But one of the things was that it's like, I don't care if it's roached. It's 58 cents. I gotta have it. I'll just give you a couple of spoilers. I went to the 1957 Topps section. I was like, nothing. All the same old, same old. So some of the categories, the tried and true, what have you, gone. But there were a lot of cards, numbered parallels. Think about it this way. If you buy one of those like Topps team sets for soccer, and you pay anywhere between $10 and $25, $30, $40 for one of those team sets, and your best card you can get, because about 1 out of every 10 boxes is an autograph, but then all the other boxes come with some sort of numbered card, and you're getting that numbered card for like 50 cents or 68 cents or whatever, and you don't need to buy that team set ever again because you've already gotten most of the cards or gotten that. Sometimes they're set up differently, and it's like, you know what, I'm just going to buy some of these cards here. They're numbered to 50 or 75 or 150 or 299 and 58 cents or whatever I said it was. It's just absolutely bananas. And you don't care who the players are. It's like, I'm going to get this one. This one's cool, cool, cool. Always looking for a condition as well too, but if that's your thing. And then again, some of these ancient cards I was buying is like, you know what, that's the only one on COMC. The only one. And sometimes that really does matter. I was always collecting Hopalong Cassidy. Now, it's a big, massive 200 and some card set. So I only pick out what I feel like is necessary. And like I said, when you see cards of like 58 or 68 cents for like a card from the early days of Topps before 1952, it's like, what the heck is going on here? I'm going to start grabbing some cards. I don't care if they're folded in half. That's my jam. So I'm going to be grabbing those things. And then And then you start going through, like I said, some of my favorite categories are like Star Wars, 1970s soccer cards. So I basically hit the soccer section and click 1970s and go to lowest first and see what's in there. Because I'm just an example collector. I want, you know, I don't care if the guy is super goofy looking or he's got half of his teeth or he has like an unfashionable haircut from the 70s, you know, that was, you know, popular, you know, a couple years before. I don't really care, you know. I do, you know, even in the junky categories, it's got to display well, you know. So even if I buy a card from 1936 and it's only $1 and it's got massively rounded corners, I was like, man, the card has vibrant colors otherwise, and that's the only one on COMC. I've got to grab that one. So that's how I did that. And then I went to some other categories here. I go to the non-sports category quite frequently, but they have separated those cards out to Star Wars, Star Trek, and Marvel. And, excuse me. And the thing with that is that you find autographs in those sections as well too. And so you're going through the non-sport looking at the dollar autographs, forgetting that there's ones in Marvel. So like this guy's in a whole bunch of stuff. Ding! It's an on-card autograph, no-brainer. I could do that all day long. There was a guy that was in the new show, relatively new show called Ghosts, and he's got a card. He's got an autograph card. I'm like, $1.27 for that? That's kind of stupid. I should get some of those. And then I remember I already had some of those. But, you know, for somebody else who wants those, you know, if you need a Devin Long card, then that would be one for you to grab, you know, for a whopping $1.27 or whatever it was. Insane. And then, you know, again, I like numbered cards, numbered parallel cards, and I went through the Doctor Who section again, like I do every Black Friday, every COMC. And the cards, other than some of the newer sets, the older ones were exactly the same. Everything was still there. Because, you know, what happened is that one year, I remember a couple years ago, these Doctor Who cards were like 50 cents, $1, maybe $1.25 at the most. Then they were like $6, $7, $8, $9, $10. I had wiped out every single 4th Doctor Tom Baker bargain numbered card and most of his base cards in the lower price ranges. So that left everything else that no one else wanted, because people want their favorite doctors and the 4th Doctor. That's all they want, you know. So I'm looking this year and I was like, oh wow, things are on sale. So I'm looking for the classic doctors, looking for the Jodie Whittaker because no one cares. And so I like to collect cards that no one cares. That's what I like to do. Then I went to the 1960s cards, went to the cheapest Topps 1960s cards that I could find, and I said, you know what, this is only 30 cents for a card from the 1960s. I don't care if it's got writing on it. I am going to have to take that card. And 8 others of the exact same variety of that card. So I'm going to have a binder page of exactly the same card in varying conditions. I thought, how cool is that? So if you're looking for cards from the 1960s, there was one card I wiped out, every single card between 30 cents and 50 cents. And I'm like, that is bananas. I mean, that was a dumb, that's what I did towards the end of my COMC. Because what happens is you get towards that, you know, kind of a spot where you need to be for the shipping, in that all popular $4.99 for shipping. I did not spend $100. Over time I spend over $100, but for me to get the free shipping, I would have had to spend $100 all at once, I think, you know, all in one setting. You know, but it was over time, so I did not spend over $100. And then the other thing is that they only had 2 viable options for shipping. Actually, 1 viable option. With all the cards that I had purchased in there, I could either get it for $4.99 shipping and have it arrive sometime in the future, or I could have done for almost $100. I'm like, no, not $100. I don't need it that quickly. I mean, I do need it that quickly. And then there was another option to have it even quicker, for even more than $100. Like, there's no $15.99 shipping, no $20 shipping, nothing in between. I was like, this is awful. Terrible. So I went with a $4.99 shipping, and I have a feeling that other people are going to find out that shipping is just like $100 or more for just a bunch of low-grade cards that they purchase, and that would just shoot everybody in the foot. But again, I was comparing things to eBay before, and you know, eBay can easily be $5 for one card plus $5 for shipping. So, you know, and then you do the COMC, get one card for $5 shipping, and then it's like 37 cents, and like, okay, game on. So that's how I approach that. And we'll just do a few other things here before I get way too far here. There was one card I kind of wanted. It was $12.50, and I said, that's a pretty good price. It's an overseas issue, and I said, but you know what, let me just wait and see if it was on sale. Now, there's a whole bunch of the week left over, and I'm pretty much done. I've pretty much said, you know what, no more cards. If for some reason it gets down to 75% off, I might just do a simple purchase for that and a couple others. But pretty much I am done. I basically clicked my order, clicked pay now, and said, deal with it. Okay, that's what I did. So there was one card that I was looking at that was not on sale. There was another card that was on sale, but it was only 5 cents off. And I was like, no. Heck no. But like again, I even went to the Olympic category, and I pretty much found nothing in the Olympic category. It's pretty much a dead category. A lot of the same old, because I basically went at the peak times when people were blowing away cards, blowing out cards, and essentially what happened was that I bought those. And the prices will never get down to those. Never, never, never. There were a couple of cards down in that price range that I like to have, but unfortunately they were duplicates or cards that were way off my radar. You know, there was no sense in grabbing a 30-cent card if that's going to detract me from a card that's $1 from 1936, and it's the only copy on COMC. So I did get a lot of set build cards. There were some other cards that eventually I would like to set build, but you know, if you want to buy 100 cards at 80 cents a piece, you know, that starts to become $80, and then you can buy the complete set for much cheaper than that, you know, even though it's, you know, an early 60s Fleer issue or something like that. So there's all kinds of great options there, tons and tons and tons of cards. Again, what I focused on was numbered parallels through the soccer sections, the Doctor Who sections, non-sport, that kind of thing otherwise. I focused on dollar autographs, I mean, somewhat. I did not buy a lot of memorabilia cards, but in the previous COMC I bought a bunch. So you'll see those in that particular video, one of those videos. And this video is going to have to be chopped off into 2 or 3. Not this video, but the COMC video is going to be chopped off into other things. One of the things I cannot remember, but somebody had mentioned in the top 15, if I have not mentioned it already, the top 15 non-sports iconic cards or whatever like that. And I found some adjacent cards. I didn't find those exact cards. They're not available. But, well, there was actually one I think was available, but it was way out of my price range because it was graded. And that's kind of one of the crazy things about some of these, quote, iconic cards, is that they're very plentiful. But finding ungraded cards are not plentiful these days. Everybody's got them squirreled away, or they got them, you know, figured out. So I bought a lot of adjacent cards. I bought Mickey Mantle adjacent cards. I bought, you know, Star Wars type adjacent cards. And there's some other ones here I won't mention, but they were circa 1936. And then I went through and it's like, oh my gosh, there's all these cards and this one and that one. And again, a card from 1930s or whatever that was completely roached, but was 90 cents. I just had to take that. And the crazy thing is a lot of these sellers were like, you know, had cards that were normally $8, which was not always the best deal. But for this particular time, and for the effort that goes into it, that's the only time the guy's going to have a fair price on things. You know, some people are doing like 80% off. Now that 80% off is maybe an inflated price, but if you're looking at what eBay is now, it's actually not that bad in some cases. You know, so again, I got some Hopalong Cassidys. Some of them were excellent condition. Well, I say excellent, but very displayable condition. Some of these older fashioned cards have really legible backs, so some of the backs were actually really readable, regardless of what the condition on front was, corners or no corners. You know, I like, you know, maybe a card with four rounded corners, but then I don't like one that's missing one corner, if that makes sense. So there was that. So I had all these things factored in here. So essentially, I'll see if I can find. Oh, I don't really want to look that up here. I might accidentally spoil the show. But essentially, I bought cards from every decade that you can think of. I guess I could have looked up, you know, the old French cards, Felix Patin cards. I forgot to look those up. Another COMC. Just kidding. No, that ship has sailed. I don't really need any more of those. I can get those from overseas for much cheaper than I can from the US if I really wanted to get some of those. But about 15 minutes here. I know I forgot half a dozen things, but I just basically wanted to make this COMC based here. You know, again, if anybody wants any kind of... I didn't find any Happy Days cards, really. I bought one, but none of my Happy Days cards were on sale. They were on sale, but the prices had not changed. throughout the whole year. So that was a ship it has sailed as well too. So essentially what I want to do is wish everybody a happy Black Friday, Thanksgiving shopping week if they get anything, fine. If they don't get anything, fine. But if they get some fun stuff, it'd be nice to share, and nobody needs to talk about the aforementioned, BO that was going around the community last week. And thank you for watching.